Hey, how are you guys doing today? Today I'm going to show you guys how to capture audio at a wedding. When it comes to recording audio for the day, all you're going to need is one of these on your camera and these two bags here, one for the ceremony, one for the reception, and have one of these audio recorders tucked in your bag just in case something comes up. The first thing you want to do when you're capturing audio at a wedding is get one of these type of microphones. It's going to be way better than the onboard microphone. There's a wide variety of different ones out there. I would recommend the Trackstar microphone. It's $25, gets amazing audio quality, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. A good tip is just to keep the microphone on all day. This way you won't forget when you turn it off and on. This way you'll be capturing audio throughout the whole entire day. And at the end of the day, just replace the batteries. So this is going to be the first line of defense. This is going to be capturing just audio throughout the entire day, just so you get like a lot of the room, people talking, just really better audio than it would be on your in-camera microphone. The next thing you're going to want to have is a personal small recorder like this Zoom H1 or the Tascam DR10L. Put one of these audio recorders in your main bag for the entire day in case you need to capture those quick little moments such as letter readings, dad first looks, extra audio at the reception table, that kind of stuff. The first time you're going to be using this is going to be when they're reading their letters to each other. You're going to want to mic them up and try to hide it the best you can. There are different techniques on hiding it. I just like to have it not in the shot is one of my techniques. It's quick and easy versus using tape and hiding techniques and things like that. So besides the letter reading, the next thing might be first looks, whether it be the father of the bride doing the first look. Usually he's wearing a suit, so suits are really easy. You clip it just on the lapel and hide it in their pocket and just grab it right after. Same as the first look. The groom might be wearing a suit. You could clip it to his jacket and hide it in his front pocket. So that brings us to the ceremony. So now in our ceremony bag, it's literally just a bunch of Zoom H1s. A lot of the times they don't have their audio board accessible, so you can't tap directly into their feed. So you'll have to use a lot of these microphones to find the source of audio and capture it yourself. I usually use 4 microphones for this. 1 is going on the groom. 2 going on the officiant. 3 going on the reader podium or the reader microphone. And 4, if there's any music or anything like that, I like to just place it in between in the middle of the music so it captures. The first thing you want to do when you get there is find the officiant or whoever's going to be marrying the everyone. You're going to go up to the officiant and introduce yourself. Say, hey, my name is Gavin. How are you doing today? They'll make some little jib-jab conversation there. And then I would say, just so you know, I would like to put this microphone on you just so they can have really good audio for their wedding video, if that's all right with you. You could find different ways to say that, whatever works for you guys. And they'll be like, oh, I already have a microphone that's going to be going over the whole entire system. And I'll be like, oh yeah, no, that's fine too. We just want to record it for the video. It's going to be totally separate. This is all internal, so it won't be interfering with the loudspeaker. There won't be any radio signals mixed in there. And so yeah, it won't interfere with anything. We'll just put this on you about 10 minutes before you go out, and then we'll find you after. And most of the time they'll just be like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, mic me up, bro. So then you get to go back, set up all the other things you have to do. You establish a rapport, he knows what's happening. And you do the same with the groom. You say, hey, good to see you, and how's it going? I'll find you in about in 10 minutes before you walk down to the ceremony just to put this microphone on you, kind of like we did for the first looks. And he'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, and I paid for it, so yeah. And I want good audio coverage, so yeah, sure, let's do it. When it comes to miking up the officiant and the groom, it's going to be the same thing. They're probably going to be behind, hiding out somewhere within 10 minutes of the ceremony. They're probably going to be together. And so you just mic them up one at a time. The officiant might take a little bit longer if they have to go through a robe or anything like that. The groom, usually quick and easy because he's wearing a jacket, you could pop it in there. I don't mic the bride because she's usually in close proximity of the officiant and the groom. And when it comes to being a softer level in post, I'll just raise hers up just a skosh, just to make it so it's the same level, equal loudness. So that's the officiant and the groom. And the other places where there are readers, I'm going to stick a microphone on that. A lot of the times it's going to be microphone stand. It's going to have a stand like this, and which is great with these lavalier microphones is that the little clip that normally clip on a shirt or something like that usually clips perfectly right on the bottom of the microphone. In my bag that I carry around with me all day, I always carry around a little piece of electrical tape, because when you clip it onto the reader microphone, you're going to want to put a little piece of tape on it just to hold it into place. Just like this. I'm going to wrap it around. A trick that I like to do so I can peel it off is just fold a little corner over and stick it to itself. So there's this tiny little tab, so it's not stuck onto itself. Okay, so that takes care of the reader podium. And the last thing I do is take one of my recorders, pop the microphone off from it. And this way it's recording off from these two up top here. And I'll just place that in the middle of, if there's like an organist or pianist or violinist or any kind of person playing music, I'll just slap this right in the middle of them so it captures all the sounds like that. And that's pretty much it for the ceremony. When it comes to capturing reception audio, a good tip is to go ahead and email the DJ before the wedding. In your questionnaire form of like the final day preparation, you're going to get contact information. I always get the contact information from the photographer and the wedding DJ, and I shoot them both an email because I'm going to be working closely with them. In this email, it's going to be me introducing myself, asking what type of lighting they plan on using, and letting them know I'll be capturing audio from them. So then this way, when it comes to the wedding day, you already established a rapport. There's gonna be no surprises. They're gonna know you're gonna be coming, and they'll be ready for you. It'll just go through really smooth. One of the things I like to do, because some DJs might not know how to use their board, is I like to go in through the speaker in the back. There's always gonna be one XLR out in the back of the speaker, and it's gonna be what everyone in the audience hears is what you can capture. The reason why I don't like to go through an audio board is because sometimes it might have one of the tracks that goes to your audio recorder. They might not put that feed up all the way so you can actually get the feed. Sometimes they might have it accidentally muted. There's just a lot of different things that they can mess up your important audio recording on. So I don't leave it to chance, and I just capture it directly out of the speaker. In my reception bag kit, this is what I carry with me. It's gonna be a Zoom H4n, a pair of headphones so you can monitor what's coming out, and this cable right here. So this cable right here is a XLR to an XLR, female to male. So this end is gonna go into the back of the speaker. This end goes into an adapter that splits it into two. You're gonna want two because you could do a higher and a lower and take the better of the two. If you want more on that, there's a video about audio recording right over here. Something that I'm gonna be trying out this year is gonna be these two adapters right here. What it does is it takes the audio down -20 decibels. So sometimes they might be peaking, but you're gonna be taking the edge off from that. So it's just gonna be better audio coming out and into your recorder. And the reason why it's split into two is because in your recorder, whatever recorder you may have, you're gonna be capturing a high and a low, because you're gonna wanna take the best of whichever one is the best audio that doesn't peak as much. So you plug that into your audio recorder like so, bada bing, bada bing. Plug your headphones in, ask the DJ, hey, can you use the microphone that they'll be giving the toast into? Because there might be a couple different microphones, and if he's not testing the one that the toastees are gonna be using, you might not be getting a good feed at all. So he'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. 1, 2, test. Maybe he'll sing a song. It's gonna be a great part where you and the DJ could hang out for a bit. So then I'm looking at my feed just to make sure that I'm not peaking. I might be adjusting some levels. Some good levels that I like to abide by is gonna be capturing one at 50% and one at 75%. This way it's not gonna be blown out, or it's not gonna be too low either. So whatever those levels are usually the two safest ones that you'd want to be using. So another thing that I did was to make this custom Velcro piece. I just put a little screw in the back with a little Velcro, and this way you get to wrap it onto the stand, and this way it's not going to be laying around on his table at all. And another thing is, sometimes if you put it on top of a speaker, there's a giant magnet inside of the speaker which could possibly erase your memory card. which would be horrible news when it comes to recording audio for your bride and groom. So that's gonna be the audio to capture the toasts. What I like to do for backup would be to have them on a microphone with a stand, and it's gonna be just like the ceremony. You're gonna tape it up so they can't move it. They'll be staying in one spot. You could light it perfectly, and it's gonna be backup from the microphone. It's gonna be backup because they're gonna be close to this piece here, and you'll have two different options to pick from. One being the DJ option and one being the microphone that's clipped on right here, just like the ceremony. The last thing I like to do for backup is a lot of the times the bride and groom might say something either back to them or they might laugh. What I like to do is take the audio recorder that was in my pocket, pop this off so it's not coming from the lavalier microphone. When it comes to this though, I like to use the white one just because it looks prettier on the table, and I like to pop the lav mic off entirely just so it looks pretty because they're going to be staring at it for their dinner. I like to just set it in between them on the table, pointed in their direction using these two audio recorders, and just hit record for the whole entire time because they might laugh, say something back, or who knows what. So this is just a good little extra audio trick so you can capture great audio for the entire wedding day. If there's a band playing, sometimes I like to let it roll for a little bit extra because the band is just something very special and unique. Whereas if it's a playlist, they might have their own playlist saved somewhere else. But if it's a band, then capturing the live music directly from their wedding day would just be an amazing gift, I feel, to them to have all that extra live music and things that they're saying. Like if there's someone singing, they could say something fun. Another quick tip is to bring backup little extra cables or extra recorders because you never know when something might go wrong with one, and the extra cables in case they don't have a speaker with the exact output. They might have a 1/4 inch, they might have a RCA out, they might have different outputs. So what I like to do is bring different cables and other adapters that you may run into. And if you have these, even if you don't bring them into the reception, if you have them in your vehicle, they're just really helps with your mentality, knowing going into a situation that if you have the extra cables that you might run into, that you won't be stuck high and dry without any good audio at all. So I hope you guys found this video extremely helpful, and if you guys really liked it, I would really love if you guys were to subscribe because I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of awesome content like this. Also, if you hit that like button, I would really appreciate that, and we'll see you guys in the next video.